her big bindi, big smile, and big personality is an even bigger heart and very, very big dreams. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Rashmi Misra is that change we all wish to see in the world. Please join me on stage, Rashmi. I took this from one of your presentations. Yeah. And, most people say location, location, location. But Rashmi says education, education, education.
I do.
So tell me a little bit about that.
I'll tell you. Well, I started 28 years ago. I was a young housewife and a teacher in IIT Delhi. And I saw that, IIT Delhi is a very premier university of the country where everything is perfect, everybody's educated. But across the walls of the IIT, everybody's illiterate. It's just a wall that separates the real world.
That's typical India.
And yeah, it's typical India. It's a contrast of India. So one day I saw these group of girls in a dirty pool of black water, which flows through the campus, and they couldn't build a wall over it. And I just walked up to them. I said, "How come you're not in school?" They looked me up and down, and they said, "What? Don't you know? Girls don't go to school. Only boys go to school." So I really couldn't sleep. It took, for 2 nights, and I went back to them. I said, "Look, do you want to study?" And you should have seen the little spark in their eyes. There was such an excitement. They said, "Yes." "Will you teach us?" I said, "Yes. Why don't you come home? I'll teach you. The only one condition that you be clean." And next day they were there, and it, I should just thoroughly enjoy it. I used to be a dancer at the time. I teach them, through hopscotch. I teach them mathematics and everything. And it's just amazing that I realized that how little effort it takes to bring an opportunity to an underprivileged child and transform that child.
Absolutely.
And there's no looking back. Once I started, we've educated 200,000 children at Vidya.
That is amazing.
And I think every child is a role model.
So you started with 2 or 3 kids. Mm-hmm. Tell us how it grew.
Well, I started with 2-3 kids on the IIT campus, and realized that this is just so exciting to bring the change. IIT gave us a space, and we created a regular school, and we had the most amazing opportunity to transform children. And actually, behind the children is always women, because I saw the mothers. Right. They were all, first generation learners, and the mothers had that just dying to learn attitude.
Right.
And we realized that if you don't educate the mother, how are you ever going to change that child? Right. But we had to empower that girl and empower her mother so they could handle it themselves.
Right.
And they were so open to learning and to changing. I mean, what they've achieved is incredible.
You have, of course, so many stories to share, because
yes.
I'm sure you know each of these kids personally. Yeah. But we have 3 very special ones that we've discussed before that I wanted you to share with everyone. Mm-hmm. And the first was Neelam, actually, because you've also done a lot of work to empower women.
Right.
You've started communities of women.
Yes.
You've started loans, microfinance in your own way. You've started communities to support each other. Right. But Neelam's story is very, very interesting. So please tell us more.
Thanks. So Neelam is a girl who was about 35. She had lost her husband, and she had 3 little kids, totally illiterate, full of ill health. She had all kinds of problems. She came to us, and we gave her the basic education, but then we realized that she was an excellent Madhubani artist. She had totally forgotten it. So our whole effort at the microcredit program was to bring out the livelihood and see. So the little training and a microcredit loan of 3,000 to start with. She started a small enterprise of her own. This is about 10 years ago. Then Neelam, she became so good that she employed 6 girls to help her. Today she has 300 employees. She runs fantastic. 15 groups.
We can all take tips from her. 300 is no small number.
But the beautiful thing is that the humility that she has not changed. She realizes that by empowering other women, she's bringing a change. And her sons have all gone to college. Her 3 sons who were illiterate have gone to college.
Right.
She set up them with business. And I spoke to her yesterday. Said, "I'm going to talk about you tomorrow, Neelam." And she was so thrilled. She said, "Look, my whole aim is how many more can I empower?" And she has 15 groups, and she takes care of all of it.
I'm sure.
So that's it's anything is possible. It's just what you can empower a woman, you can transform an entire community. And if Neelam can do it, anyone can do it.
I love that. We want to meet Neelam.
Yeah, I mean.
And of course, you have empowered a lot of little boys as well. You know, your school was always open to boys as well as girls.
Yes.
And there's a very special story about a little boy who ran away from home called Badr Sen Negi.
Wow.
So this is quite a story, Rashmi.
Yes.
Tell us.
So, you know, I ran a school. That was the first effort of Vidya was a school in Delhi, in the IIT Delhi. And one day this little guy, stood in front of me. He said, look, I'm 5th standard pass, and I want to be an engineer. Can you make me one? I said, excuse me, first you tell me what's an engineer. So then he rattled off the story. He says, when I was 9, I come from Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. I'm a shepherd boy, and I saw somebody building a dam near my house. And I asked, who are these people? And they said, these are engineers. He said, I want to be that. But nobody helped me, so I ran away from home. And I work as a servant in a home, and she went to send me to school. I'm 5th standard pass, but nobody would take me to 6th standard. What do I do? Can you help me? So literally, we brought him into our 10th standard. And in a year, he prepared for the 10th standard exam. We have an alternative education system. And within that year, by chance, Hillary Clinton came to visit Vidya in this open-air theater of IIT Delhi.
When she was first lady.
When she was first lady. And CNN showed up at our door and made a movie. And one of these, Badr Sen said one sentence. He said, my dream is to be an engineer. But the first thing I'm going to do is open a school like Vidya in my hometown. So other kids don't have to run away like I had to run from home and survive. And this was shown on television, and a lady called the White House and said, look, how can I help this kid? An American girl from Portland, Oregon. And then she called me and says, will you send this young man who wants to be an engineer? I said, you want him? I will send him. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. So we brought Badr Sen to our own home. And took him home. I said, look, you're an ambassador of India, not just of Vidya now. So, so with my 2 boys, they used to keep fighting. He's sitting on my desk, Mom. What is he doing? I said, listen, he's got a dream. He says, forget the dream, Mom, I want my desk.
Of course, one more sibling to fight with.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess...
But today, Badr Sen Negi is a computer science engineer in LA, California, doing...
That is just fantastic.
The beautiful part about him is not only has he made it amazingly well, but he's transformed his entire village. Because of his example, they fought and put the best teachers. Every kid goes to school in Kinnaur district where no girls ever went to school. Because of this one example, every child goes to school. Every child wants to be a Badr Sen.
It's just infectious.
In fact, he has a website. He's called Michael Negi. Nobody could pronounce his name, so he's Michael Negi. So you can Google him and figure out.
That's what you look up, Michael
And
Negi.
last year, I was invited to the House of Lords in England to give a talk on Vidya. And I had just been and come back. So I said, listen, girls, you want one of my students to come and give a talk? And I sent Badr Sen. I said, Badr Sen, will you go talk about Vidya? He said, yes, ma'am. And he did an absolutely brilliant task. It came from the heart. Because,
he's from the inside.
He said, it's my temple. Vidya's my temple. That's where everything that happened, that I transformed. So
that is just such an amazing story. What about Mamta? This is a very special story as well.
Right.
And what's really interesting is that she was a paraplegic, and she is a paraplegic, and you went out into the slums looking for children with disabilities to bring into Vidya. Right. So tell me about how you met Mamta.
Yeah. So Mamta was in a slum close by, and as you know, in that time, I'm talking about the 80s, they were really looked down upon. She had polio on all 4 limbs. So the neighborhood said, we don't want to see this child because it's bad luck for us. So literally her parents locked her for 14 years while her brother and sisters were all normal, went to school. So how it happened is I had a volunteer work with me who suddenly had a stroke at 21 and couldn't use her left hand. Her left hand was not...
Right,
So, she inspired me. She said, Rashmi, if I'm like this, can you imagine what kids in the slums are going through?
Right. And so you won't even see them because
they're hidden. So we got Mamta's brother to bring her to school. She was a brilliant mind, but no body. Literally, she could just move her right hand. And within a span of 4 years, she did 2nd to the 10th standard. She competed in Vidya.
She must have been a sponge, just
she was just brilliant. And she was a leader, because she was a born leader, because not only did Did she do her class? She was the leader of the whole group. She helped them with their homework. She announced, she sang for us on a wheelchair.
What
It didn't
confidence
matter.
she would have gained.
And
right?
everybody learned so much just to help her.
And did she speak in public as well?
Yeah, so I put her on national television with Girish Karnad.
Oh, fantastic.
Because disability was something so hidden in our society. We didn't want to hear about it. So I said, you've got to go. So when we were invited, I sent her in front. She didn't want to go. Today she runs a computer center. She didn't finish university, by the way.
She did?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's in Nainital, where her father was a driver in Delhi, now retired. She runs her own cyber cafe on a wheelchair, and she educates hundreds of children in computers, IT.
That's fantastic. Tell me about all of the different centers. You have so many different centers and different ways of, opening Vidya in all of these different cities. So please tell me about the reach of what you've done.
So in Delhi, we have a very special school. We'd love you all to visit.
You've built your own school.
I built our own school. I had to raise $4 million to build it, which I did. And I've always wanted to have one center of excellence which stands out, where you can actually create the new leadership for India. Because you know what happens is 60% of our children drop out of primary school. So especially when they are first generation learners. Very few girls get a chance to finish class 12. So how do you change India? And our whole effort is to build that confidence and create examples like Neelam.
And I've met some amazing women in your center. You've moved to Bangalore at an age where most people want to retire, but now you're busy here, growing Vidya as usual. And there's a beautiful center in Whitefield where I met some amazing empowered women who learned to read and write English in 6 months. Am I right?
Yeah, in 6 months.
It wasn't just A's for Apple. They could express their feelings, and they said, now I feel confident because I can speak English.
I love this. This is what keeps this is the kick I get.
That's awesome. Rashmi, just keep doing what you're doing. We're all your cheerleaders.
Thank you.
But I'm not going to let you go yet. As you know, I have a round called the Quickie with Namu Kini. Are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay. This is for you all to get to know the real Rashmi, okay? Chana bhatura or masala dosa?
Masala dosa.
Your favorite festival?
Diwali.
Raj Kapoor, Shashi Kapoor or Ranbir Kapoor?
Ranbir Kapoor.
Your secret indulgence?
Chocolate.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ganz bestimmt.
Your happiest moment?
Granddaughters.
Oh, yeah.
They're to die for. They're to die for.
You can never have too many?
Glasses of wine.
An alternate career?
I can't think of any other. I think Vidya again.
That's awesome. Ladies, Rashmi Misra.